Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. They're usually on the radar. Not many people talk about them. I think at least you should do research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have another introduction slash review for you, and this is the House of Lush. House of Lush is a British cosmetic brand from United Kingdom. They've been around for more than 40 years, and they started with cosmetics, health products, shampoos, soaps and things like that, and then it started to venture into perfumes about 35 years ago, and since then they produced over 200 perfumes. Many of them are well received in the fragrance community, and if you go to their website right now, they don't have more than 20 perfumes. The reason is because they discontinue their perfumes on a regular basis, and that is one of the things that put people off, because they get used to something and then it disappears. They have few staple in their perfume lineup, not many, but majority of them either they discontinue or bring them back and then discontinue and bring and it's a bit confusing. This beauty at the moment you can find it on their website as you know, it's okay, it's fine. It's been around since 2010, and this is one of the more popular perfume from the House of Lush. This one is quite popular, and that's why I think it never been discontinued before since 2010. Maybe they discontinued before, I'm not aware of. So for 100 ml of this fragrance, which is called Lush American Cream Perfume 100 ml, this one comes in 30 ml and 100 ml. 30 ml costs you about £30. 100 ml it will cost you about £70. For that price, this is a gorgeous fragrance. So as always with House of Lush, when you me and my wife, we have so many of their perfume between us, probably about 40 or maybe even more perfumes, and the reason is because we are hooked with that beautiful smell of the shop. So when you pass their shop in the high street, United Kingdom, you cannot ignore the heavenly smells coming from the shop, and it's very strong, and you can smell it from yards away. And that's why me and my wife were attracted to them many years ago, probably about 30 years ago, and since then we bought many of their perfumes, and they are one of our favorite perfume houses and perfume brands in United Kingdom, definitely. Some people consider Lush to be niche, some people consider them to be designer. I consider them to be niche because first of all, they don't make anything else but perfumes and perfume related products, and also in terms of perfumery quality, and the DNA of their perfumes is in a way that is quite on the daring side, on the unusual side, on the unique side of things. So they are quite on the niche side of perfumery. They never mention the concentration of their perfumes in their perfumes, just they say perfume, that's it. They don't say is EDP, is EDT, whatever it is. But majority of their fragrances, in my opinion, in my experience, my nose tells me they put around 20 to 30% perfume oils, which is quite strong, and I would consider them to be around maybe EDP to extrait de parfum. So the majority of their perfumes are very strong, very dense, very thick, very long lasting, and that's why I say the concentration of oil could be quite high. And so as always with the House of Lush, their presentation is very simple, very minimalistic. This is one of their motto. They say what we put inside the packaging is important, which is I completely agree with. And their packaging is very simple, and the rectangular bottle, which is quite classic but very simple. And it says American Cream Lush. In the back has this information, blah blah blah, and the cap is non-existent, it's so light. And Atomizer is old-fashioned and pathetic. Look at this. But it does the job. It puts out juice, which is important thing. And every sprays of this sprayer, it will put like half or even quarter of a normal sprayer, so you have to bear that in mind. I usually go with 10 sprays of this fragrance, and that is ample enough for me to smell it all day. And the next day I wake up, I still smell it on the t-shirt. So it's very long lasting, it's very strong. On my skin goes easily over 8 hours. On t-shirts and materials goes easily over 10 hours. So it's a very long lasting. In terms of projection, I get an arm length of projection around 2 to 3 hours, and after that slowly subside. But always have a good bubble, good cloud, and a good trail behind you. As I said, 10 sprays of this is like 5 sprays of normal sprayer, and that is ample enough for me to smell it all day. So you can tell how strong it is. In terms of who's it for, this is targeted unisex, and it's correct. As always, perfume, scent, fragrances don't have gender. It's all marketing BS. Don't fall for it. If you like a smell, wear it. If you don't like a smell, don't wear it. As simple as that. So they're targeting unisex, and it's correct designation, because for hundreds of years, even thousands of years, perfume didn't have gender. Perfume was perfume. Anybody could wear it. The only thing is it was exclusive for very small club of people, like very powerful and very rich, up to 1920s, which was to some extent, it was liberalized, it was democratized with introduction of synthetic molecules, and that's why these days everybody almost can afford perfumes. So as always, gender doesn't exist in perfume, just don't fall for it. Okay, so in terms of season, this is all year round. You can use it in summer, in winter, no problem. The only thing is, if it's the very high heat in summer, it could be cloying. So I would say winter, autumn and spring, but summer, maybe summer evening and cool summer. And in terms of occasion, this is one of those perfume, again, it's very versatile. It's very delicious. You can dress it up and go to a ceremony like a wedding, and it is very quite on the simple side of things. Yeah, you can dress it down, go to gym, go to work and things like that as well. Although the DNA in here is quite opulent, and it's quite very nice in terms of perfume related products. And in terms of age, I would say at least 25 years and older to be on the safe side. The reason is because this one has got a little of that classical feel to it, and that's why it puts it in the category of a mature nose. I think a mature nose, you will appreciate this better than a youngster. So let's get to the perfume itself. This one smells, if I want to give you a short description, it smells like the smell you get from the Lush shops. So when you go to a Lush shop and that smells coming and it hits you first, you enter, this is what you're getting here. It's very reminiscent of that smell, and that's why me and my wife, we love this smell, because it reminds us of Lush shop itself. So when you smell this, first thing first, it's quite sweet. The sweetness in here is a little bit more than moderate, so it's not too sweet, it's not overly sweet, but it is quite sweet. I would say when it opens up around 6 to 7, 10 being the sweetest, and later on subside a point or two, but it always stays sweet throughout the perfume. But the sweetness is not a runaway sweetness. It's not one of those headache inducing sweetness. It is very well controlled in here. There is a very big powdery aspect to this perfume, so you need to like your powdery perfumes to enjoy it. Quite powdery. I won't say super powdery, because it doesn't go to the realm of baby powder, but nevertheless it is a big component of this perfume. It's very powdery, and the main powderiness of this perfume is coming from the benzoin, vanilla and musk. So a combination of these three making it quite powdery. Overall, this fragrance is quite bright, it's quite happy, it's quite uplifting, but I would say overall I classify this perfume as fresh to semi-fresh, and also I classify this fragrance as oriental oriental aromatic, aromatic, oriental, and vanilla. So this is the designation, correct designation for it. So when it opens up quite a citrusy. The citrusy here again is nondescript. Citrus probably is a bergamot, probably is lemon in here, but you cannot pinpoint it, but you can feel it. It is citrusy, but the citruses are amalgamated very well in here. There is no sharpness, there is no piercing, anything like that. It's very, very smooth. Overall, this fragrance is quite smooth. It's quite lactonic, it's quite milky, it's quite powdery, so you can tell where it's going. It's very, very smooth and rounded. The vanilla in here by far is the biggest player, so from the beginning to the end you always feel the vanilla, and the vanilla in here is a classical vanilla rather than the modern vanilla. Modern vanillas are very sweet and in your face and very, very loud. In here it is subtle, but it does the job perfectly at making it very smooth and very rounded and very creamy and sweet to some extent, but moderately sweet. So this is a classical rather than a modern vanilla, and that's why I say a little bit on the mature side as well, but it is gorgeous. It reminds me of something that House of Chanel does. It doesn't remind me of anything particular, say okay I'm pinpointing to this Chanel or that Chanel, but overall it gives me the Chanel vibe when I smell it. So it is very well done, very well put together, smells great. This one in terms of quality is very, very nice, especially for a price. For a £70, this smells very, very good. The only thing is, if you want it a little bit more cheaper, you can go to eBay and find it a little bit discounted there. But even for £70, this is a very well done perfume. For ingredients is very good. In terms of perfumery is very good. The perfumer for it is the Constantine, Mark Constantine, which is the Constantine Senior, which is the founder of this perfume brand, or this brand. And he is one of those perfumer that when you smell his perfume you know he's done it, because he's got a very classical touch to his perfumes. So this one is on the classical side, yes, but they try to modernize it to some extent. Some people say they get a fruity aspect of this fragrance. I don't. Maybe just a hint, but what it is a combination of aromatics in here. So it is quite aromatic, it is quite herbaceous. The herbaceous feel of this fragrance is coming from the clary sage. Clary sage is one of those notes that is used in many of their fragrances and many of their products in terms of Lush, and that's why it's got a certain characteristic to this perfume. But it's very well done. Again, it's very well put together. It's quite herbaceous, yes. It's quite aromatic, yes, which is the aromaticness of this perfume is coming from a very, very nice lavender. The lavender in here is quite clean. It is a hint of medicinal to it, hint of that earthiness to it, but not too much. It's quite clean overall. So the combination of the clary sage and the lavender making it very, very aromatic, herbaceous, but in the same time the combination of the notes giving it a little bit of fruity tinge, little bit of fruity aspect, but there is no fruit per se in this perfume. Certainly no fruit that I can pinpoint. Some people say they get strawberry. I don't get strawberry from it. Maybe a little bit of berry feel to it, but not too much. Some people say this smells like strawberry milkshake to them. I don't get that per se, but I can tell where they come from. So it might evoke some emotion, some memory like that in you, or different people will interpret it differently, and they smell different things, and depending on the skin, depending on the nose, depending on the climate, and depending on your cultural background and your experiences in life and all these good things, you could interpret it differently. So let me read you the ingredients I would take from there. So this is according to Fragrantica. We have vanilla absolute, milk, benzoin, honey, lavender, clary sage, strawberry, and orange. So the zestiness of it is from the orange, but to be honest with you, again, I don't get orange per se. I get just a little bit of that citrusy feel overall to it, which adds to the beginning of that brightness of this fragrance. A strawberry, again, I don't get strawberry per se. Maybe just a little bit, a hint of berry, strawberry, maybe a little bit, but again, my mind doesn't interpret it as strawberry per se. I smelled many perfumes that have strawberry in them, and those are quite distinctive. In here is not that distinctive, but again, is open to interpretation, is open to memories, is open to experience. So it depends what you get out of it. The clary sage and lavender in here definitely two of biggest player after the vanilla, and those two together are giving it that aromatic, herbaceous, very beautiful, rounded and very smooth herbaceous feel, because usually with herbs they could be a little bit piercing. In here is not, it's very rounded and it's very smooth. Combination of the vanilla, benzoin and honey here giving it that sweetness plus the smoothness plus that lactonic feel plus a little bit of that milky feel plus a little bit of that coconutty feel. Just a hint of coconut in here I get because of the combination of these notes, and also it giving it a little bit of that choky, that little bit of that powdery feel as well overall. It says milk. How do you get milk? Yeah, a little bit of lactonic and milky feel to it as well, which is coming from the combination of those notes I mentioned earlier. So overall, if you like this kind of fragrances, you need to like you have to like your powdery perfumes first and foremost. You have to like classical fragrances to enjoy it. This one definitely reminds me, at least, of 70s and 80s perfumery, because again, reminds me of some of the Chanel's which done in those eras, but again, I cannot pinpoint which one. And overall, it smells great, it smells gorgeous, smells great, it smells delicious, it smells very uplifting, very happy, but in the same time powdery, in the same time milky, sweet, a little bit fruity, herbaceous, and also aromatic. A little bit of earthiness in here, definitely some dustiness to it, and definitely that lactonic feel and milky feel to it as well. So just to give you a very quick recap what to expect from this beautiful perfume. So definitely vanilla in here is very well done, but it's not a typical modern vanilla, it's a classical vanilla, which is smooth and very rounded, rather than being very in your face and very sweet. The sweetness in here is a little bit more than moderate sweetness. So the sweetness is coming from the combination of the vanilla plus benzoin plus the honey, which is very nice, and is quite, in the same time, it's quite rich, but it's not super sweet in the same time. Very powdery, so you need to like your powdery fragrances, a little bit of dustiness, hint of that earthiness in here as well, which is coming from the clary sage, and also herbaceous feel, and also aromatic, which is coming from the lavender. But the lavender in here is very clean, and a little bit of fruity aspect to it from the combination of the notes in here. Some people could interpret it as a strawberry milkshake feel to it, but I don't get that much per se, but some people could do that. And a little bit of lactonic and milky feel to it as well, and it's quite aromatic, which is coming from that lavender, which is very nice in here. So if you like the description of the perfume I gave you, or you like the thought of classical strawberry milkshake in a way, again, I don't get it per se, but some people definitely do, because I read some people somewhere that people saying, yeah, this is a strawberry milkshake to their nose. I don't get that per se. I get more like powdery, musky, vanilla plus a little bit of herbaceous and aromatic feel. So this is what I get overall. Okay guys, so I give it 2 thumbs up. Yes, for me, for my wife, we both love this perfume very much, especially her. This is one of her favorite because of the powderiness of it. She loves powdery perfumes, and I think it's worth every penny if you like this kind of fragrances. If you don't like this kind of fragrances, obviously this is not a blind buy safe, so you need to smell it before you buy it. There are many shops in the United Kingdom you can do that. If you are outside United Kingdom, it's very hard to do that, but obviously Lush themselves, I think they sell overseas, internationally as well. Don't quote me on that, I don't know exactly, but you go and check their official website, and if you are interested, go and see if they can ship to your area and your country as well. Okay guys, if you have it, if you know it, if you tried it, let us know your experience. That would be useful for others to read. If you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, valuable, or entertaining, please don't forget to hit those buttons. This way help me, encourage me, motivate me to bring you perfumes like this in future that nobody else is talking about. Amazing value for money, they smell great, and they are hidden gems. This beauty is definitely a hidden gem. If you are interested in purchasing one of my own perfumes and support me that way and get something very, very beautiful in return, you could do that. I leave them in the link. I'm the perfumer, I'm the artist, I'm the worker. So they are true handmade perfumes just for you lucky people in the United Kingdom. I put more than 60% pure perfume oils in my perfumes, which is unheard of, and that gives them the huge personality. Very big, very bold, very long lasting. They are like time capsules. They take you different places, different time. They are very artistic and unique, and they are super beautiful, if I say myself. Also, there are other reviews reviewed my perfumes. You can go and check them out if you are interested. Thank you very much as always for watching. Thank you very much for your love and support, and I see you later. Bye bye bye.